Hello there, folks. This is Sand and Sky, and I just wanted to make an Uma Musume guide and tricks video from a perspective of a top 600 ranked player and a simple career walkthrough. So, first things first, some credentials and sources. A lot of the information I got is from the Uma Musume reference document and the GameTora website. Both of these will be linked in the description below. This is my ranking. As you can see, I am 516th place in the Class 2 team trials. This is the second class, so when you start out, you'll be in the first class and you have to promote to the second class after a week. The game's only been out for like a little more than a week, so this is the highest class you can be in. And as you can see, it is not, I jumped the gun and got rank 500 right away. This is 4 hours until the reset, so this is my proper rank. Now, for absolute beginners, once you start in the game, you'll be presented with an option of whether or not you want to keep the account or re-roll it, and also what to do with a selector ticket, because you do get one 3-star selector. You can follow these guides or just check out the source that has been referenced in the Reddit link in the description. Let me just walk you through these real quick. So, what you want to use your 3-star selector on. So, there is a mission where you get a random 3-star Uma, but that takes a week to do and is very long, so I don't blame you if you want to pick right away, but these are the top meta characters right now. First is Oguri Cap. She is the safe choice and the all-around good unit. Then there's Taiki Shuttle and Marzensky. Taiki is, in my opinion, a little bit better, and her skills suit her a little bit better, but they are both top-tier option picks, and you can just pick any of your waifu. Honestly, they all work. It's more the support cards that determine the career than anything. And whether or not you want to reroll or not, if you are a meta slave like me, you want to reroll for a fine motion and Super Creek down here, and if you pick up any of these SSRs on the way, you're good. You want to reroll for these two cards and save the rest, because a really good unit is coming out in the future called Kita-san, and you want to basically spend all your money for that. So TLDR, if you're a meta slave, yes, you reroll for Fine Motion and Super Creek, and also pick Oguri Cap as your 3-star ticket. Now, here's some general info that people have missed or haven't dived into deep enough to really care about. So, what do the stats actually mean? So, the speed is the default stat. To increase, basically, you can never have enough of it, and it determines how fast your horse goes at the max velocity. You want this to be fast, obviously. Stamina is the absolute most important skill until breakpoint, and then it becomes useless, because, having excess stamina doesn't really affect the race at all. You will die if you do not get enough stamina for a certain race. So if you're going into a long race with 100 stamina and no stamina regen skills, it doesn't matter if you have 1200 speed, you will get 16th. This determines the HP of your horse, quote unquote, and there's a stamina calculator here that I will also link in the description for you to use. It is in Japanese. You may want to translate it, but roughly speaking, for the longer races at the end game, you want a 400-ish stamina. If you're a sprinter, maybe 150 is good enough, and for mediums, around 300 is pretty much a safe bet. More is better in those scenarios, but you don't want to overcap, right? Power, that affects your acceleration, how much your horses can push to the front, weave around basically how fast they can go in a short period of time. It's important for skills that increase speed and only speed, because if you increase the speed, then you have to eventually accelerate up to that speed, and if your acceleration isn't fast enough, then the skill boost will be wasted. So it's more important for short races and strategies closer to the end, because generally speaking, the last spurt is when a lot of the big speed boost skills activate. And so something like an end closer or a late surger will increase speed drastically towards the end, and if they don't have enough power, they won't be able to increase fast enough to overtake the front runners and the pace chasers. Guts is mostly useless. It's a backup stamina right now. It affects certain late spurt effects in the Japanese reference document, but I couldn't find anything in the English document besides just affecting back stamina and stamina consumption. So take this with a grain of salt, and you really shouldn't have more than 300. There is like a sort of breakpoint for Guts where at very low levels, Guts is better than stamina, but you should never really have more than 300 of the stat. Wit. Wit affects skill proc rates and navigation, basically how well you can weave around the other horses and other small things. Here are the skill proc rates. You, generally speaking, don't want to have more than like 400 to 500-ish because you get diminishing returns a lot, but if you want to cheese and get a higher ranked horse, you can just spam wits and get this to like 1,200. Now, strategies. Generally speaking, the only thing strategies do affect is, well, besides, the general strategy, also the stamina consumption on paper. So frontrunners have 0.95, pace chasers have 0.89, late searchers have 1, and then end closers have 0.995. So if you were, let's say, if you had let's say 100 stamina and you were a front runner, then you have effectively 95 stamina. Now, it is important to note that pace chasers receive an additional stamina penalty of 11%. I know, it's pretty crazy. They already have like the highest stamina consumption, HP consumption, or sorry, they have the lowest effective HP and they get an additional stamina penalty. It's crazy. I don't know why this exists, but it is in the document and I don't know enough to refute it. That being said though, they do have a lot of good skills. So the free SSR you get from the event gives Gourmand and Hydrate as their event bonuses, and these are, golden blue skills, which are very nice. So they do supplement the stamina penalty. And again, if you have enough stamina, this stuff doesn't really matter. Just pick the strategy that suits whatever skills you have and also your aptitude. And these are, speaking of aptitude, these are the aptitude bonuses. If you're wondering why the pink horse Haru Urara can never get more than 16th in your playthrough, it's because she has G in both turf and long distance. So she gets absolutely boned minus 90% and an additional minus 90%. So she is like running at 1% value, stuff like that. Yes, but and these are the S bonus. So the lower you get on the bar, the worse your race performance ends up being. But generally speaking, like, you usually race your A's and B's in your careers anyway, so it shouldn't matter all that much. So what should you consider before starting a career? And how do you get your scenario record up, higher? Get those A-ranked horses and whatnot. So step 1 is your inspirations, right? You want to consider who you're bringing along. So if you're a beginner right now, just go for the highest star blue sparks. They give you way more stats than the lower ranked ones. So that's, you see here, speed, 3-star. So the stars here affect how much initial stats it gives you, and also the subsequent stats from the inspiration. So I think it was early April of a career, you get an inspiration. So you get 2 inspirations per career, and the stat boosts of your legacies affect how much bonuses you get. The parent sparks do matter, so that's why people are asking, hey, do you have a 9-star speed? It means speed for both the primary and 3 speed for both the parents as well. So for advanced players, you want to prioritize speed, stamina, power sparks, as they are the most important sparks stats for running. You should also consider the unique skills of the Uma and the skills they bring along. Ura Finale and style modifier skills are standouts. So something like Triumphant Pulse, you want to maybe bring that along if you're not, running Augury already, because this is an all around good skill. Something like the front runner's corners is also really nice, because if you're doing front runners, because it's a front runner exclusive skills, it can be leveled up twice if you have excess skill points, and it's just all around good. So, support cards for beginners. Your setup and support card optimizations may vary, but for beginners, you can just run 2+ speed cards of any rarity and 1 max limit break guest cards, and you should be good enough to finish the career. If you're behind on event points, pick the one that gives the most event points. I know it expires in 2 days, but just generally for events, right? You want to get the rewards as much as possible. Now, if you're an advanced player, there are many different things to consider depending on the horse. What setup is optimal for the stat gain, since you want to be spamming 2 to 3 training types to level them up. So you click a training type, I think it was like 4 or so times, and it levels up and it gives more stats. So you want to pick stats in those categories. You don't want to be clicking all over the place. That reduces your stat gain. You don't want to overcap on speed. This happens to me more than I'd like. So, either run max speed sparks on your inspirations and drop down to like 1 speed card and consider spamming power, or run variety sparks and go 2 to 3 speed and just spam speed, Consider what skills the card gives you and its event types. I'll explain more about that in a bit. Run 1 trainer card to increase the odds of good skills. So if you run, 6 card, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think it was like 6 cards, the chances of you actually hitting all those career events that the cards give are pretty low. I run Super Creek, and Super Creek gives a really good skill called Swing Maestro, and when I run 6 cards, sometimes in the entire career I don't even get a chance to acquire that skill. So definitely run one trainer card to maximize the value of the other good cards you get. And always run some wit cards for energy regeneration. This is quite important. You never really want to reduce your resting time as much as possible, and having maybe 2 wit cards for the friendship training really does increase the cycling of your training. So to expand on the skills the card gives and its event types, so something like this on the left over here is basically exclusively brought along if you're running the late surger strategy, because all its skills, Position Pilfer, Slick Surge, Outer Swell, and it's also career skill, a golden skill called On the Left, are all late surger. You'd never really want to bring this card unless you're running the late surger. Furthermore, it's like a guts card, which isn't really that good since you don't want to be spamming guts too much. The right card over here is it's all around good because it is frontrunner. It is good because it is a speed card, but it is pretty much a frontrunner exclusive card. Fast pace, final push, a rosy outlook, front runner straightaways, front runner corners, front runner savvy, leader's pride, they're all early lead. They are all front runner skills, and the career event unique skill, unrestrained, is also front runner. So I run this card default, but I never really want to click on the exclamation mark of the friend training if it shows up, because the skills that this card gives in the training are pretty much useless. Now, step 3 is to consider your future inheritance and goals. Generally speaking, you want to start a career with a goal in mind. This can be like getting a better horse to use in events and PvP, finishing an event mission quest like the one that has 5 friends in the same training, or getting a better parent horse, or whatever you want. You should also consider that what you're doing before starting a career and make your actions work towards that, right? If you want like a better parent horse, then it doesn't really matter if you win the career or not. You just want to have like above 1,100 of a certain stat to maximize the likelihood of getting that 3-star spark. Of course, it's nice if you do win, but that's not the primary goal, right? Guest legacies are available only 3 times a day, and it is recommended to use those for better parents, because generally speaking, getting a 3-star is really hard. If you have 2 3-star horses, congrats, you don't even need guest legacies, but I still have to use guest legacies, right? So for example here, see here, I'm looking to create a better speed spark parent horse, so I would pick my best spark and a guest spark while power leveling speed to increase his chances of a 3-star speed spark. So I'm running Ogre here. I have my legacy on the left here, which is a 3-star power spark. That's fine because it's still a 3-star. I want to maximize that stat gain. And also on the right here, I have borrowed a 3-star Uma, who has, crack parents. So these do exist. You got to go out to Discord and ask friends. Go to the friends section, and you'll find some of these crack friends there, and just bring them along to train better parents. So if my training was successful, then I would have a parent that has a 3-star speed, a parent that has a 3-star power, and Ogre who ideally has also a 3-star speed. So that's a 9-star stat parent, which would be ideal, right? Now, what should you do in a career? If you're a beginner, you can just click whatever training has the most friends, and don't click the training if it has a higher than 10% fail chance. You should also make sure to cure all negative statuses and maintain a good to great mood whenever possible. Note that the exclamation mark counts as 1 additional friend if I should add a caveat here. It doesn't really count as an additional friend if they're already maxed, but for simplicity's sake, just count it as an additional friend, right? And the rainbow also counts as one additional friend. I count this as an additional friend just because training rainbow gives you more stats. So yeah, just click the ones that have the most friends, right? So the left has, 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3, so 10 friends. Should probably click that, right? Now, if you are an advanced player, these are some considerations you should take into account when selecting training. So like I said before, you don't want to click the exclamation mark if it has a skill that you don't want, or you've already maxed it, then don't count that, right? So in the early game, you should prioritize building friendship points until the bar turns orange. Then that unlocks rainbow training. Then you don't really have to prio them as much as possible. Otonashi and the director, so this is the journalist, and the director gives you increasingly more points. So that's starting from like I think it was like 2 to 5. This is director gives skill points. Otonashi gives whatever points that you're training. So I prioritize Otonashi just because 5 additional points is pretty big. It stacks up. Aoi, the friend trainer that you get, gives 3 wit basically conditionally. It doesn't always give it. These two always give it, and a potential mood level up, which this is pretty rare. So you should also plan your mood so you take advantage of the mood level up. So Aoi trainer gives a bunch, so I level my mood only once, and pray to God that Aoi comes and levels it up once for me, so I don't waste a step. You should consider statistical analysis of the fail rate. So if you're getting 20 speed off an average train, but the rainbow gives 40 speed, but the failure is 50%, then I have 40 times 0.5 plus negative 10 from the failure of going to the infirmary times 0.5 equals to 15 speed. Is not worth it. So calculations are pretty simplified since infirmary effects are varied. You could get -10, you could get -30, and you could get practice perfect. You're missing but you're also missing out the friendship and other opportunity costs. But you get the point. Click based on instinct. I would say it doesn't really need to go that deep, but generally speaking, only click above 20% fail rate if you're getting 4 rainbows or something crazy. You should consider training your unfinished stats or untrained stats during summer vacation when all training is set to level 5. Outside vacation, spam your support card set up to level up the training type. So, like I said before, you click a training type 4 times and it levels up, right? But in summer vacation, all training is set to level 5, so you can take advantage of summer vacation to train some of your more under-leveled stats that you wouldn't usually train. So, maybe some guts, maybe some stamina, stuff like that. All else equal, default wit recovers stamina and sets you up for the next turn in case you get a better training setup. Wit recovers stamina, wit recovers energy, and if everything is kind of mid right now, you can always click wit and pray that your next training loadout is better. Something to do summer vacation too. So summer vacation, usually you want to click wit 2 times because that way you can also get 4 trainings. And if you click 2 trainings, your energy goes down far enough that your fail chance is really high. And you don't really want to click the recreation because it only gives 40 energy always, and you could usually get 50 off of the normal rest, up to 70. So yeah, double wit for summer vacation is also something to consider. Summer vacation includes mood up with recreation. If mood is low, you could intentionally go into vacation with low energy to get it back. So something I do if I get like a mood down is I go into summer vacation with around 30 to 40 energy and a good mood, and I immediately click the recreation and get up to around 70 to 80 energy with a great mood. So this saves 1 click of recreation, which is nice. Races reduce energy, gives some stats, and gives a lot of skill points. So go into custom races with energy if training is terrible. So your career races don't drain your stamina, but your regular races do. It goes from 5 to 20. The bottom option is a random chance between -5 and -20, and the top chance is a -15. Always, I think. So if your trainings are like really mid, you don't really want to go wit either because the fail chances are actually stacked up and your stamina is low. You could just go into a custom race, get your skill points and potentially some stat boosts as well. Another thing to consider is that some goals for some horses require a certain amount of fans. So I know Haru Urara has 3,000, 5,000, and then like I think it was 12,000 fan requirements. So you want to go into, and you can only get fans through races. So you want to go into these races with as low of energy as you can, right? Because you can't drain past 0 energy. So you could potentially just get -0 energy if you go into the race with 0 energy, and that's that's really good. The best way to do that is to just double race, right? -20, boom, and you're low enough that the energy doesn't matter, and then you got to get back up. But you got to get those fans somehow. So upgrading potential requires earning some certain G1 races, so dump or save skill points depending on what races you need to win for upgrade. So for example, Ogre Cap needs to win the NH Cup, it needs to win the Sprinters Champion, etc. Winning the NH Cup is probably the hardest G1 because it comes so early in the career, and the racers there are kind of cracked as well, being an early G1. So I usually dump my stamina points for that races. For the other G1s, doesn't really matter to me, but I still lose the NH Cup, so I make sure to power myself as much as possible before that, because I need those banners to level her up. Event choices have different outcomes. Don't pick event outcomes with skills you can't use. Yes, generally speaking, the event outcomes are like they're pretty equal-ish, and there is one that varies really wildly. That is the Aoi event, the hobby event. So for example, of a drastic change, the top option unlocks her custom recreation mode and gives you mood up and I think skill points as well. The bottom drains your skill. I think it drains your mood as well, or not your skill. Sorry, it drains your energy. I think it drains your mood as well, and you just get one useless skill. So yeah, explore your event outcomes, but definitely like remember them, right? It could make or break your run depending on what skill you get. So leveling up a skill requires fan breakpoints at the senior year. So this is your unique skill, by the way. So that's 60k fans before early February, 70k fans before early April, and 120k before late December of the senior year. So if you've ever raced Ogre or something, you'll notice that, hey, my unique skill Triumphant Pulse levels up really quickly. And if you've ever raced Haru Urara, you know that hey, why is my skill stuck at level 1? It's because the fan requirement to level up those skills. You should check the skill activation requirements to see if it's worth picking up or changing strategies. For example, Daiwa Scarlet starts off default as a pace chaser, but her unique skill is much better as a front runner. Another example is I think there's I think it was like there's this one skill called when you overtake a racer mid-race, you get a velocity boost. So for example, you never want to take that when you're doing a front runner, because ideally your front runner is always number 1, right? It's things to consider. You should also consider a stat spread for strategy. Power is less necessary for front runners and long distance, but far more for late and sprints. So just consider your stats in general of who you're racing. Baxing, for example, her career is really easy because you only need to worry about spamming speed, where somebody like King Halo is incredibly hard because her career varies wildly and has different requirements and stuff. A lot of things to consider, but these are just the things off the top of my head that seem important to me. And thank you all for watching this video that I've made. Hopefully your races and careers go a little bit better. Here is my info on the right in case you add me. You probably shouldn't, because honestly my stuff isn't very great. Just grab a whale, right? But just in case, happy racing, everybody.